Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rob T, from What's on My Mind. Listen, we're about to start the podcast. Before we do, I just wanted to say a few words about our awesome sponsor, Metroflex Gym San Marcos. We've been pumping them like crazy on the show, and there's a reason for that. You see, it was a few years ago, it's probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I first stepped into Metroflex. I got to meet the owners, Daniel and Michelle Haggerty, and let me tell you something. Just them alone makes the very reason why I go to this gym. Back at that time, I was at my heaviest at 465 pounds. Yeah, pretty heavy, I know. Anyway, I walked into the gym. I talked to Daniel and told Daniel exactly what was going on with me at the time. I had some health issues and things like that. And he wasn't interested about, the money. He was interested more in me and my health. And I will never, ever forget that. So, it's for that reason alone that I still continue to go to Metroflex. This is about 6 years ago. Now, since then, I've had, fluctuations, of course, as we all do. But the one thing that I love is that these guys don't give up on me. They don't call me a quitter. They don't press me or anything, but they definitely motivate me. If you are looking for a gym that is going to look at you and care for you like family, I'm telling you, you've got to go to Metroflex Gym San Marcos. If you're in the San Marcos area, it could be Kyle, Buda, could be New Braunfels. You're not that far away. Metroflex Gym is really not that far away. Look, the address, it's really simple. It's 2101 Clovis Barker Road, San Marcos, Texas, 78666. That's Highway 123, like you're going to Seguin. It's not that far, okay? Look, if you want more information, look them up online, www.metroflexsanmarcos.com, or give them a call, 512-878-8575. Metroflex Gym. They care for you like family, but also it is the hardcore place to get back in shape. Don't forget, Metroflex Gym.
Hey, this is Rob T.
Hey, this Big Will.
The week is almost through.
And there's a lot we've thought through.
And we just want to share it with you. Some of it may be motivational.
Some inspirational.
But it will always be sensational. So sit back
and relax
and check out What's on My Mind.
Hello, everyone. This is Amaya.
And this is Vanessa.
And you are listening to
What's on My Mind.
All right, Vanessa, what did you think about last week's episode?
It was crazy. I can't believe we actually talked about that.
Okay, can you expand on it? How did you feel about Griffin?
I love Griffin. I love him to death. He's one of my best friends. I've never seen him like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I can definitely understand what you're saying, especially when we had dance practice this last summer. He was over the roof. Very hyper, but he had some great conversation, great talk, and we ended with a nice conversation last week. So just wanted to introduce our special guest we have today, Miguel.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
How are you doing?
I am good. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Nervous, but all right.
Hey, me too.
All right. Let's introduce, of course, the one and only Rob T and Big Will.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're just over here, sitting in the corner, twiddling our thumbs. Now we're on the show. How you ladies doing?
Good.
All right.
Why are you nervous?
Because now I'm thinking about it a lot. You said to just not overthink, but you say think or not to think, and now that's all I know how to do. So, even
that's
if
okay.
it's not the right
That's
time.
okay. That's all right, though. Hey, but now you know that, if you want to do something like this, there's a lot of times when you do stuff, it looks easy until you actually get behind and start doing it.
It's like driving.
Yeah. Speaking of driving, somebody got a permit.
Yes, I got my permit today, just a few hours ago.
Really?
I did not know. I did not know it costed $16 though. But
oh wow, $16.
I mean, it's not a lot. It's just I wasn't expecting that.
Gotcha. How did you do on the whole thing? Did you do okay?
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't really a test. It's just like you had to bring in stuff, and then they just looked at papers. The actual time you get a test is just the drivers.
Just the drivers. Did you do any driving at all, or?
Well, I'm gonna be doing driving, but not. Okay. I didn't have to do any driving today to get my permit because they just walk in, fill out some papers, you show some proof of your online coursework.
Gotcha. So this is like basically they're permitting you to be able to practice driving.
Yeah, right. Like on highways and roads and stuff.
So are you pretty good at driving?
I'm decent, yeah.
Can you parallel park?
We haven't gotten that far
yet.
That's
a good question.
My dad has been teaching me how to drive, but he has a gigantic truck that's hard to control, and like on my third time driving, he threw me out on the highway, and the fun thing is I'd be safe, but the bad part is the other person would not be safe.
Oh man. Well, sometimes you gotta learn how to swim. They'll throw you in the deep end. I mean, that's how you learn. Either you swim or you drown. So
I've known how to swim since I was 3, so I'm fine.
Looks like I'm drowning.
we call that an analogy. Anyway, so yes, we had a great conversation last week with Griffin. Griffin was off the chain.
Dude, he really was.
I mean, he was energetic. He had some great comments, great topics. That boy was definitely woke. I'll give him that.
Yep.
I was not expecting that from somebody his age.
I was not either.
And you know what? That's on me, man. I prejudged, and hey, there you go. That's proof right there that not every young person is that stereotype, right? There's proof. So anyway, we are on our last week of this series, and this series has just been just for a refresher for everyone. We've just been trying to bridge the two worlds, if you will, the adult world and the teenage world, because throughout generations there's never been a connection there. Now, I'm not saying we're going to make a connection with just these 4 episodes, but it'll definitely spark some conversation, and I hope that it has sparked some conversations. In fact, on that note, I do want to put it out there to all you parents or adults that have been listening. If this is made a significant impact on your life as of late with your teenager, be it a niece, nephew, son, daughter, whatever the case may be, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
And if it was a significant impact and you wouldn't mind being on the show, definitely hit us up, because this is something we like to continue on into the next month, and hopefully we can have some people, some adults, to talk about some of these situations. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Will,
Yep.
we gonna get into this conversation now.
Yep.
So I hope y'all are ready. Okay, you posed a question to your beautiful niece. Am I correct on that?
That is correct.
All right.
All right.
Hit it with us. Hit us with that question, Amaya. What was that question?
I'll hit my book with you. No, the question was, what is one thing adults have no idea about? And I wanted to really get it out there with everyone else, because I can only speak for me. I can't really speak for everyone else. And I know that there were a lot of different feedback that came through, but there were also a lot of similar ones, which wasn't necessarily shocking to me. But
Now, did you ask some friends or something?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
posted on Instagram, and then
I just went through Snapchat, and I just straight up sent it to like every single person that I could think of that still had an adult in their life.
Wow. Did you tag us in it?
Wow.
No, it was just like a post to say, send this question.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Tag us next time. Anyway.
Well, if y'all make a Snapchat, maybe I could.
Oh, Snapchat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant Instagram.
No.
I have a Snapchat. I'm just saying.
But you're not my friend.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I don't think
I didn't even know she had a Snapchat, to be honest with you.
Shots fired.
Of course you didn't.
Okay, so give us the results of this. I want to hear this.
Okay, well, a lot of the main responses I got back was that parents don't understand that what is it called?
degrading.
Not
don't know.
degrading. That they don't like to normalize mental health. They don't want their kid, they don't like to think that their kid could potentially be depressed, potentially going through anxiety, like could really be going and struggling deep down, because that's not something that you have in a day-to-day conversation. That's not something that you're always sitting there like, hey mom, I think, or I'm feeling this way, I think I might be this. Because I know that I've got a lot of friends who are like, well, my parents just say, it's just hormones. I'm overreacting. It's
Or
just,
it's in your head, or
suck it up. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a bad day. Don't let one bad day
define
make you think that you have this.
Okay.
mental
Okay,
illness
I get
or
where you're
mental
coming
health.
from. I get where you're coming from. Okay, so so in my opinion, I don't think the question you're posing is exactly the way that you're posing it.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking you're getting at is, it sounds to me like what these teenagers having issues with is that their parents or adults, we'll just say adults, don't take their crap seriously.
Yeah.
Basically, like what they're going through, they don't take it seriously. Oh, it's a phase. Oh, you'll grow out of
Yeah,
it,
I
or
would
something like
definitely
that.
say that.
Okay, I can agree with that to a certain extent. All right, I definitely agree, and I've said this over the past few weeks. How, yeah, I'll be the first one to say it when like I have a nephew he's young. I think he's 12. And when he goes through stuff, I'll be honest, my first reaction, which it shouldn't be, is like, oh, she's just stupid kid stuff. He'll get over it.
Yeah.
That's honestly my reaction. And in all honesty, I probably shouldn't react that way, because as we stated before, to you guys, it's real.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking a little bit a couple weeks ago about that whole breakup situation.
Yeah.
Right? and I forget the length of time the relationship was, but wasn't just a couple of months or something
It
like
was
that?
6 months.
6 months, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So for someone in your place, in a teenager's place, that's a long time and a big deal, and the hurt is real. Whereas for adults, it's like 6 months, okay, whatever. And granted, there's validity to both sides, but the thing is we're trying to come to an understanding.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So I'll be the first to admit, yeah, you're right about that. That adults need to be better at trying to understand their teenager. I will give you that. But
There's a but.
there is a but.
There's always a but.
Yeah. Here's where I have to give the but. Dun dun dun. I also believe that as teenagers, now let's lay the truth out on the table, okay? Here's the truth of the matter. You guys are 16 years old, correct?
Right.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
Okay, so all three of you are 16 years old, right? Okay, just with the adults in the room. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you your age. But just with the adults in the room. I'm 45. Will is less than that. And, of course, your mother's less than that because I'm the oldest one.
That we know of.
Oh, yes. She's not as old as you. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
I got you. No. Out of all the adults in the room, I'm the oldest. But can we put the truth on the table? Can we all agree that we three adults have much more life experience than you do?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
you do.
we can agree with that, right?
Yes.
All right. Here's the reason I say that. Right now, if you look in our world, if you look on the media, if you look in social media, if you look just in the internet, mental illness has been talked about more now than ever in our history. And on one hand, that's awesome. That's great. Because those issues should be addressed. Those issues should be talked about. And we should have a healthy dialogue for people that are really suffering with those issues. Here's where it can become a problem. Now, I'm not poking at you guys because this may not pertain to you. But as a whole, your demographic, teenagers, can take a little thing and blow it the hell up.
Yeah.
Okay? Here's what I mean. You break up with somebody after 6 months or whatever it is, and you are devastated, correct? That is no doubt that you are feeling some pain, okay? There is no doubt in any of our minds. It's gonna hurt. Of course it is. But just because it lasts a week, you don't automatically have depression.
Well, yeah, obviously there's symptoms of depression.
Right. But see, that's where I'm bringing in that rebuttal, because I think a lot of young people out there will automatically do that. Let's just take something simple, like, oh my God, I'm sneezing. Oh, I got a sore throat. Oh, Mom, take me to the hospital. I have COVID. Right away, you're going to go with COVID because that's everything you're hearing right now. Everything you're hearing is about COVID, when you probably just have allergies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's blown now. I'm not saying it's all the time, that it always happens that way. But you have to understand, just like you want us to understand, you have to understand that this is the reason why most adults react that way.
Yeah, I get that, but I think
They should still have an open mind to it.
adults shouldn't just shut you down
I
away
agree.
because
I
you're
agree.
saying something that could be so unbelievable to them.
I agree. So, in response to that, I think what should happen is there should be a dialogue, for sure. Chime in, bro. It's a conversation.
I was gonna say that
No need to raise your hand. Just chime in.
parents should at least give their kids the benefit of the doubt, especially if they've been through a lot,
Right.
like multiple times, and it's a long-lasting thing.
And
point.
like maybe
Great point. Great
yeah,
point.
like what he
Right,
said,
good
maybe if it's lasting over more than a month or so, maybe you should check it out and see if it is actually
Yeah, but the
something.
sucky thing too is that doctors will make you fill out this one paper and you have to check boxes, and if you're nowhere in where it says you have signs of wanting to kill yourself, you have signs of wanting to harm yourself, but that to me is not depression. I could be upset, like I could be going through something horrible, like I could be
Correct.
going through a phase
Correct.
where I'm feeling down all the time, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna sit here and think about harming myself. Like
Right.
I don't have to check a box that says I'm gonna harm myself to mean I have depression. There's
Right.
more to it than just that,
Oh, for sure.
and I
for
don't
sure.
think people always understand that.
Right. No, I get that, and that's what I'm saying. I think there should be
Yeah.
a healthy discussion. Now, having said that, the other thing, and this is going to probably be more difficult for for teenagers, right? Because let's be real, again, putting all the truth on the table, we're dealing with two different generations here. All right, and I'm not just talking age wise, I'm talking lifestyle wise. Okay, we come from a generation where we were raised with, oh, suck it up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we have those. I'll use my own life as an example. I grew up with some serious daddy issues. I grew up with some serious, trauma that I dealt with as a kid that was all emotional and stuff like that. But as a kid, trying to talk about it, we were just told, suck it up.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. So, your dad works a lot and he has a rough time. It's your fault for bothering him. And we had to suck it up. We couldn't do anything about it. So now you guys, unfortunately, are having to deal with, and when I say that, I don't mean y'all, I mean as a whole, the teenagers are now having to deal with these parents that are still dealing with that stuff that they had to grow up with.
I think that's a really good point, because I also got a lot of feedback saying that parents say that they don't want to raise their kid the way that they were raised, but at the end of the day, that's all they know how to do.
Exactly.
Like, they don't know how to raise your kid, or I wouldn't know, like my mom wouldn't know how to raise me differently than what she was raised, but obviously she doesn't want to go down that path, but that's all she knows.
Right. And here's the thing too that I've just seen. Now keep in mind, this is coming from someone who just seen this. I don't have kids, so just from what I've seen, it's one of two extremes. Mm-hmm. You either have that one parent that goes and raises their kid the way that they learned from their parents. Or you have that other parent that says, I'm not going to raise my kids the same way because look how I turned out. I don't want my kids to turn out that way. And then they let their kid do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And the thing is you have to kind of try to find that happy medium. Right. Yeah. You have balance. You have to have a balance. Exactly. And that's where it becomes, it's work. Just like any relationship. Yeah. So I think, and I get it, I'm probably going to get emails or comments or something like, how can I even say anything? I don't have kids. Yeah, well, fine, I get it. But this is what I'm saying, just from the outside looking in. And I'm probably going to get, like I said, crazy feedback about this. But I think that, we should take it a little bit more seriously when we have, if we want our kids to trust us, right? If we want our kids to trust us, we have to be able to say, hey, you can tell me anything. How many times have you heard your parents say that? You can tell me anything, right? You can tell me, I want you to tell me anything.
Our parents are different, but of course.
I want you to tell me, okay. If that's the case, then be ready for the anything. Okay? And it doesn't, and I know parents always think the worst. Oh my God, my daughter's going to tell me she's pregnant. No. What if your daughter comes up to you and says, Mom, every day in school, I keep getting whistled at, I keep getting this, I keep getting that, and it's just making me feel this way. All right, boom. Now how are we going to handle that?
Yeah. No violence. Violence is not the answer. Never.
Only sometimes.
Yes, in our household.
So that's what I'm saying. That's when the conversation, and I think, Miguel, you made a really good point. When you have a teenager and maybe you've gone through divorce or they grew up in a bad relationship that you were in, and there was abuse in that relationship, and now you're not in that relationship no more. Now maybe you're in a healthy one, but now you're starting to see that your teenager's acting out, and they come to you and say, I am feeling really angry. You don't just dismiss it. Or I'm feeling really sad. You don't just dismiss it. You look at those things, look at those factors, have a conversation, because those traumas in life do leave scars. They do. Bottom line. So, yes, I think you're right. I think that as adults we should be a little more receptive to if a young person is feeling a certain way, and we should definitely have a conversation about it. But I still go by what I said at the same time. Teenagers should learn to chill a little bit and not take things to an extreme.
Yeah, we do have a way of overreacting from time to time, which is understandable.
Will, you got anything to add?
No, I'm good.
You good? Yeah, go ahead, man.
I believe that it's important to recognize that adults are people too.
Yes.
They can obviously make mistakes. They can, like I said, they can make mistakes. Like Amaya said, sometimes they just don't know any better because that's how they were raised themselves.
Right.
And I think that it's also important to recognize that kids are kids.
Yes.
They're inexperienced. There's things that we don't know.
Right.
And that sometimes we'll be bullheaded and we'll rush into it.
True. Very true.
And that sometimes just screaming at us doesn't help. Sometimes we need to be sat down and just talked to.
True. And if I may, just to add to that, depending on the situation, I think there are times when, as adults, as parents, you should let your teenager make the mistake.
I agree.
Let them make the mistake, because I know for me, my mom and dad would tell me, "You keep doing that, this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen," and I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when I did it, what happened? Exactly what they said. But I learned. You know, it's like with little kids. You tell them, "Don't touch the stove. It's hot." They still try to. Don't touch the stove. It's hot. Then when they touch it, I told you it was hot. Sometimes that's what's gonna build your character.
Yeah.
You know. So I think depending on the situation, because yes, as parents, you got a big job. You know, your kid so I got friends that smoke crack, and I was thinking about trying it. Yeah, go right ahead and smoke crack. No, you don't want your kid to smoke crack, right? So it depends on the situation, definitely. You know, it's going to depend on that. So you make a very good point. Now let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So how's your relationship with your parents?
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, there was definitely some rough patches,
Mm-hmm.
Especially with my dad.
Right.
In terms of sports.
Ah, okay.
Because
okay.
Even from a young age, he was thinking about me getting into college, which means that you do bad in a game and whole car ride home, you're getting yelling and slamming on the steering wheel, and
right.
Sometimes you're just scared to go home.
Wow. Wow. Do you like sports?
Yeah. I'd say I like playing sports.
Okay.
But I've definitely lost passion for one of the sports that I've played.
Yeah. Yeah. And is that like the sport that your dad really wants you to?
Yeah.
Ooh, so that makes it really
But
tough.
he played the other sport that I play now, that I like playing.
Mm.
He played it in high school. And
what sport is that, if you mind me asking?
Football.
Football, okay.
And so he played that, so obviously he wants me to go for that too.
Right.
Right now, he's thinking just go for both. One of them will stick, and you can get into college.
All right. And so is that something you're interested in doing, or do you have another passion?
I would like to go to college, and I'd like to play sports in college.
Okay,
but
so
I would
you're on the same page.
I would prefer to play football,
okay.
for sure.
Okay, so then it is something that you like.
Yes.
Because it would be totally different if it was like, no, I want to be a pop star or something.
Yeah, no. He would not go for that. But
I want to dance, Dad.
even since I was a kid, it was always sports. Like, I started soccer when I was like 4.
Wow.
And I've been playing since. And now I'm on a pretty good team. I've actually had a few colleges reach out to me so far.
Good. That's good.
But nothing like concrete yet, you know?
Right.
But
they're already expressing an interest. That's a good thing.
I've had one D1 college express an interest for soccer.
That's nice.
Cool. So going back to your parents, when we were just talking about, has that happened to you? Are they the type of parents that will sit you down and actually have a conversation with you about a certain? Are they the type that yell at you?
It depends. It depends sometimes, because I know my dad and we're both pretty similar in the fact of being stubborn and bullheaded.
Gotcha.
So we argue pretty much every time we see each other, at least once. It'll be minor, major. We always argue about something.
Right.
And then my mom and it's pretty easy for us to talk, but yeah, it's more of me and my dad. Like, sometimes I feel like with him, I'm like, just let me make the mistake, because I'm tired of hearing it.
Right.
Because he just says it over and over. I'm like, well, I'd rather just make the mistake at this point, and if I want to do it, I'll learn from it.
Right.
I know that
That's a good point.
we always argue. Like, it's been a thing for a while, but when I was a kid, of course, I wasn't really one to argue back.
But now that you're a teenager, you are.
Yeah, that's definitely.
normal, though.
Yeah, it's because you want to defend yourself. You don't want to just get yelled at for something that you could explain why you did.
And now you're able to fight back in a sense.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're also testing your boundaries.
Yes, definitely. I test my boundaries sometimes.
Yeah, because and that's a normal thing. That's a normal thing. As teenagers, you're growing up into that adulthood. So in your mind at the time, you're thinking, well, I can do that already.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're looking at the parents who were like once in your position and no, you can't. They know that already, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where they're coming from, and if that's going to create that tension. Yes. It's normal. That part of it is normal. But that brings up a very, very good question for me that I want to ask the three of y'all. Okay, so let me give you the scenario. Okay, let's say that's the scenario, right? You want to do this thing, and you've been told constantly no, and they give you the whole thing. You know, I've been there. I know better. Just no. But I want to blah, blah, blah. And it's going back and forth. It's going back and forth. Now, dad looks you right in the eye and says, son, I said no, and that's the end of it. Now do what I said.
That definitely sparks a reaction in me that makes me want to go against him. I feel like I respond to him better sometimes when he sits me down. He says, I've been there. I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that this is what's going to happen. I know
Right.
that this is what's most likely going to happen.
Right.
I feel like I understand it better when he actually sits down and he talks to me.
And I get that. But what I'm saying is put yourself in the scenario, okay? That's not the scenario that's happening right now. The scenario that's happening is that both of you guys, you just said yourself, you're both bullheaded. You've been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now he has finally gotten to that point where he's done, and he looks at you and he says, son, I'm done talking about this. The answer's no. And it's just because I said so. I'm not giving you an explanation because I don't need to. I'm your father, right? That's what he's just said to you, okay? So, of course, in your head, you're pissed. I get it, right? But what do you do?
That I have enough respect for him to listen to him, but at the same time, that really makes me want to go against him whenever he says stuff like that.
I get you, but do you?
No.
That's where I'm coming from. That's the difference, okay? That I've seen a lot with, be honest with y'all's generation. You said it perfectly. The respect, right? That's the key thing. Now, I remember at the very beginning of our series, Amaya, you said something that was very telling to me, and I remembered it even 3 weeks later because it was that poignant to me, and that was, if you want to get respect, you got to give it. Okay, I get you, and you know what? You're right. In the real world, if I want you to respect me, I should give you respect, right? Here's the thing, though. As parents, they've brought you into this world. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's some crappy parents out there. That's a little bit of a different. That's a little bit of a different scenario. But I'm talking about the parents that, yeah, they give you crap every now and then, but you see how hard they work. You see that they bust their tails for you. You see all that stuff, right? Yeah. The normal parenting is what I guess is what I'm getting at here. So my point is this: when that parent, let's say your mom, gets to that point, like I said with Miguel, I said no because I said so. Are you going to go against that?
It makes me want to go against it, but
I understand that,
obviously
but
I'm not.
Okay, what about you?
I would say no, but I've never like really reached that level before.
Right.
For little things, she goes against it anyway.
Like,
and does it.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So, let's say you do go against it, and you do it anyway, and now mom is ticked at you. Here's my question to you: in that situation, do you understand why?
It depends on the situation.
It doesn't matter. She told you no. You did it. Now she is.
Here, let me paint the picture.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, let's say you want to go to a party, and your mom said, you're not going this time. You went to the last one. You're good. And you're like, no, mom, I want to go. All my friends are going to be there. The cheer squad, all this whole whatever. The whole, all your friend groups are all going to be there. And then, let's just say you want to go. And she says no. So you call Miguel. He just got his license. And say, hey, come
pull up.
Come scoop up. Come pick me up.
Let's
row. And then you jump out the window. And you take off.
I will... If I jump off my window, I would probably die.
Okay, let's just say
you break a leg.
Let's say you sneak downstairs and you went out the front window.
Okay.
And you take off. And you leave.
It was on the first floor.
So you leave.
Where you go with the scenario?
So you leave, and then your mom goes up to check on you at 10 at night or say goodnight or whatever, 11, whatever, and you're not there, and she is pissed. And she goes looking for you because she knows where you're gonna be at. Obviously, she knows where the party's at.
Okay.
So she goes and she goes in, and now she's gonna make a big scene and walk up and then grab you by your hand and say, "Let's go." And now you're embarrassed with all your friends. You get out and take off.
I don't get embarrassed.
Just go with the scenario.
Just go with it. How do you feel? I mean, because you realize you just went against her and she said no. The answer is no. You're not gonna go. But then you snuck out and you did it anyway.
I would personally be angry because she pulled me out of the party.
But you weren't supposed to be there.
Right, but she did it when
Good
she was young.
dialogue.
She
Good,
did
good,
it when
good.
she was younger too. So why can't I?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I'm just
I
saying
think-
in general.
No,
like,
you
if
make a good point.
if you did it when you were younger, you're sitting here telling me stories about doing it, and then I'm like, oh, I would never do that. But then I'm like,
I
dang,
wanna
now
try
she
it.
makes
Let me do
wanna
it.
Do it more.
Okay, so
I
this,
do it.
this brings up that thing we were talking about. That sometimes we need to let you make your own mistakes. I get that. Okay, so you've now made the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You've gone. Mom told you no. So at this point, like Will said, you're pissed because she dragged you out of there and embarrassed the heck out of you. I'm talking embarrassment city. You're on Facebook. You're on Snapchat.
I'll be like, woo!
She's getting pulled out by her mom. You know?
Literally, I don't get embarrassed.
Well, anyway, but you're mad, right? Because that's just happened. So the question is, do you really, in your heart of hearts, feel that in this situation you're in the right?
Well, no.
Okay. Now you brought up a really good thing too. You said, "Well, but she did it, right?" Do you think that's fair?
Yes.
Why?
Because you should have a... You should be... Okay,
No,
what
I can say
Yes.
if you're gonna do it and then you're gonna take the blame or you're gonna take the consequences for whatever action you decided to do, then let me take the mistake and let me I guess be embarrassed, be all over social media, be all over the internet. Let me let me make my mistake. That goes on to what you said. Like sometimes we have to make the mistake to really understand, and if I went against my mom and rebelled against her, then that's my mistake. I will obviously hopefully learn from that.
Right, and I get that. But my point in this scenario is this. Yes, in this situation you're right. You've gone and made the mistake. You're gonna learn on your own. I get that. But my point is your anger towards her validated because of that? Now you've just thrown a past mistake in your mom's face for something she's already paid for. She's already gotten through that, and that was the whole reason why she told you not to do it, because she knows what the outcome is. She's tried to protect you.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think it's fair to throw that in your mother's
no,
face?
obviously it's not going to be fair.
And honestly,
correct.
I think it depends on the situation. Like, if you're going to the party to go do drugs or do alcohol or whatever you're going to do at that
No,
party.
that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because
Well, my mom knows that I'm not going to go do that stuff.
it doesn't matter. The point is, she said no.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what you were planning on doing there. It's irrelevant.
If you're gonna go meet a guy, you're gonna meet 6 guys. You're gonna hang out with your cousins, friends, whatever the case. There, that doesn't pay any attention. The point is your mom said no.
Right. So what you were gonna do is irrelevant. The fact is, she told you no. You went against it, and we're going with the scenario here, right? So you're now home. You're having the argument with your mom, and now you've thrown into her face. Well, what about when you did when you were my age, right? So you answered my question already, but I'm just bringing it back up.
Yeah.
I said, do you believe that that's fair? And she said no. What do you think? Is that fair to use that argument against your mother?
I guess not.
Do you
You
believe
said I
that,
guess,
though?
though.
Do
That
you
means-
believe that, though?
Honestly, no, I don't.
Okay, then argue your point.
I don't know.
Why?
I just don't believe it. Like obviously.
Because she did it, so why couldn't you?
No, I still stand by the fact that you did it. You paid for the consequences that were like you do it and you pay for it. But let me pay for it. Obviously, the only way to learn from something is to literally go through with it and learn from your mistake. That's why I believe maybe it was mean to say to my mother, but
Right,
I said
right.
it. It's out there
Right.
now. I did what she told me not to do.
Right, right.
I rebelled against her, and
Right.
then now she comes and drags me out. But
Yeah. So, but my point is here, I get that, and you're right. Consequences are going to come for everything you're
Yeah.
saying. What I'm saying is, now think about this. I'm saying it mentally. Is it fair that you say that to your mom? I'm saying this in the mental aspect. Like, really think about it, because I'm trying to go deeper here with you, okay? Because this is what I think a lot of young people don't stop to think. They react and they don't really think, okay? Now, so this is where I'm getting at. All right, I'm just going to go there. Your mom has shared things with you, and I'm just using that as an example, right? In hopes that you would learn from the past mistakes that she's made, right? That's why she shared those things with you. Do you really think in your heart of hearts that your mom is proud of those things that she did?
no, obviously not.
Obviously not. So now here's the daughter that she created, basically, who she's worked her butt off for to get her to where she's at now. And now she's 16 years old. She's in a good school. You know, she's got all this stuff. She's providing for her. She's putting, you know, her and her husband got her in a beautiful home to live in. Like, all this stuff that she's doing for you. And now this daughter that she loves dearly looks up at you and says, what about what you did when you were my age? Can't you see how disrespectful?
Yes, it
That
is
is.
disrespectful, but
Right.
like if you let's say you
so
had
why
like.
is that okay? That's my point. Why is it okay for young people
That's
to
not.
feel?
It's never gonna be okay. I don't think it is okay. It's never gonna be okay. Things like that aren't.
Of course. So that's the point I'm trying to get. Because, and I'm not saying you guys are like this at all, but unfortunately, your peer group is just ready to just rain hell down on us as adults, thinking they know everything, thinking they know better than us, and I'm just trying to find out why. You see what I'm saying? That's where I'm trying to get to.
But is there really a why? Like everybody does their own things for their own reasoning, whether
But
that's
their own
because
reasoning
of
has a
True.
point.
Yeah.
well, I can't speak for anybody or everybody, but maybe it's because of what's going on in their household. Maybe it's because of what's going on at school,
Very
at
good
work.
point.
Like
Very good
I know
point.
things that
Very
go
good
on
point.
around the world, go on around in my household,
Very-
definitely affect the way that I
Definitely.
decide to do something against my parents.
Exactly. So, having said that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to pick on you guys at all, because I know there's a lot of adults out there that are unfortunately screwing up in the parenting department.
Yep.
And those kids kind of have a reason to react the way that they react. But I'm just, here's the thing. Not all adults are like that, number one.
Yeah.
Another lesson we were taught as kids is that you respect your elders, right? I'm going to tell you the thing that still shocks me, it shocks me still now, is thank God it doesn't happen a lot, but it's happened a couple of times where I cross paths at a store or something like that with a young person y'all's age or something like that. I'm the kind of guy that I'm always nice to everybody. If I saw you at Walmart or something like that and we happen to be in close proximity, if we made eye contact, more than likely I'm going to tell you, hey, how's it going? Right? That's just who I am. That's just how I am. It's happened a couple of times where some kid, where like, hey, how's it going? Right away, reacts that way. I'm like, what the hell the heck did I do to you? And adults, I know I'm not the only one. When that happens, the first thought that comes to you, stupid kids. Because unfortunately we do the same thing. We bundle them all together. And they're not all like that, just like not all adults are like that. So that's the reason why I'm asking these questions. That's why I wanted to have this conversation.
Right.
Because, again, going back to what we said at the very beginning of this series, we're trying to bridge that gap. We're trying to start conversations. So I think you bring up great points. It's going to depend on the situations that they're in. Thank God you guys are in a great situation with your families. You've got great parents. Same with you, Miguel. Sounds like you got really good parents.
Real quick, can I just say something?
Go for it, man.
I know earlier that I said about my dad being intense. I just want to kind of say that he is not a bad person at all whatsoever.
To clarify.
In case he's listening.
Oh no, it's not just that. It's also I think he didn't deserve to be looked at like he's a bad dude. I mean
Right.
He's tried his best. He's made mistakes. He's just intense, and he wants me to be better than him.
Oh, of course.
But sometimes that can cause him to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can cause to butt heads. And I know I'm at fault too. I can cause some of those arguments too because I fight back for no reason sometimes, just for the sake of it.
Right.
But I love him. He's done a lot for me. I appreciate him.
Yeah.
It's just that I just wanted to say that real quick.
Cool.
Just in case.
Yeah. No, and I'll tell you, just by what you said, that thought didn't even come to my mind. And quite honestly, your dad reminds me a lot of every dad. Really, the good dads. You know what I mean? And they can all be intense at times.
He's very good.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. So because we have more sponsors this time, so we're probably gonna take another break in a while. But this is gonna be the first break we take, and when we come back, we'll continue with some of the more questions that you have because I see you got quite a few there. That was a great first topic, though. Great discussion.
Great first segment.
Yeah, great first segment. So, guys, check out the word from our sponsors. We got a couple of new ones on there, so make sure you listen to them and you check them out. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Do you suffer from problems with your skin? Maybe you have acne, rosacea, or you just want to have a younger and healthier look? Then Chic Boutique is the place for you. Chic Boutique prides themselves on being a corrective skincare clinic. They offer cutting-edge technologies, as well as their own professional product line. Your skincare goals will be reached quickly and effectively without being invasive or using toxic chemicals to achieve the results you desire. They offer customized facials, advanced skincare treatments, and so much more. They also specialize in permanent makeup and body treatments. Give them a call at 830-556-0815. That's 830-556-0815. Stop by and talk to them in person at 2115 Stevens Place, Suite 1010, New Braunfels, Texas 78130. You can also find them online at www.chicboutique.org. That's www.chicboutique.org. And guys, don't feel left out. There is a treatment for you too. Don't knock it till you try it. Start your skin journey today by calling Chic Boutique.
You know, starting a business can be very challenging. Man, starting anything can be challenging, even a podcast. When we started our podcast, we had a lot of hurdles we had to go through. But I tell you what, Will and I are so thankful to have an awesome team of people helping us along the way. And one of those people, well, actually one of part of the team, is Blue Orchid Design Company. They helped us out with an awesome logo, and you guys have seen it every week when you listen to our podcast. They do web design, graphic design, esports logos, business logo creation, product mock-ups, and business consultation. You got to contact them today. For more information, go to goorchid.com. You can also find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Blue Orchid Design Company. This is the team that Big Will and Rob T trust. Give them a call today.
Are you wanting to grow your business on social media in 2020, but you don't know where to start? Maybe you want to reach a bigger audience or build a following, but you've hit a wall and you want to find how to take your business to that next level? If you need help figuring out how often you need to post, when to post, what to say, and how to schedule your content, then contact Enid Jones, the Social Mermaid. Enid is a professional photographer and social media strategist who will help you move your business forward into 2020 with a practical and realistic approach for growth. For testimonials, reviews, and more, find her on Facebook under Enid Jones Photography or Instagram at pix.by.enid. That's pix.by.enid. You can also check out What's on My Mind's very own Facebook and Instagram pages to see Enid's work in action. That's right, we are proud customers of the Social Mermaid and have already seen amazing results. Connect with Enid today so she can do the same for you.
Do you own your own business? Are you looking for a platform where you can advertise and just get more people to come through your door? Well, look no further than the What's on My Mind podcast. In case you didn't know, What's on My Mind podcast is probably one of the fastest growing podcasts out there today. Our audience is not just local, but worldwide. Our numbers in the local market seem to go up every single week. These are people that can be walking in through the doors of your establishment. All you have to do is contact us at wommpodcast@gmail.com. That's wommpodcast@gmail.com. Use our platform as your platform to get your business out there for people to notice you. Again, contact us at wommpodcast@gmail.com. All you got to do is contact us. We'll contact you back, and we will make this thing happen. Help us to help you. What's on My Mind podcast? That's the place to do your advertising to get your business out there. We're looking forward to hearing from you. God, this is the last episode. Anyway, we're back. We've been having some fun here. So real quick before we get back into our discussion, I do want to mention, as I always do at this time, our wonderful sponsors, Silver Spoon. That is Silver Spoon Dinner Theater, located at the Texas Ski Ranch, 6700 North IH-35, New Braunfels, Texas. The phone number to call is 210-865-3711 for the most awesome dinner experience you could have. Great date night. You need to call them up. You need to go check out Silver Spoon Dinner Theater. Talk to Silver. Monaco, and Madison Monaco is the chef there. Their food is amazing. You need to look them up. Go to silverspoon.com. That's SYLVER spoon.com. All right. This next segment that we are about to get into is sponsored by Collector University. Check this out, all you collectors that are out there. If you, man, maybe you're looking for that one unique Funko Pop that you just can't find anywhere, you need to contact Collector University. They've got all kinds of pops. They've got all kinds of collectibles, including comics, trading cards, action figures, and more. Go to their Facebook and Twitter pages and Instagram pages to see their latest hauls. They'll also place a special bonus item in every package with every purchase. So make sure you keep an eye out. That's Collector University. Just look them up on Facebook, Instagram. They do their selling on eBay. I just got from Collector University an awesome Darth Vader Funko Pop
No way.
that lights up when you hit
I heard
the head.
that's hard to get.
Yeah, it can be. But I got it for $10.
Wow, that's a steal.
Yeah, $10. And he hasn't delivered it yet, so he needs to hurry the heck up with that. But anyway, so yeah, that's Collector University. Check them out, all right? And we are back with, of course, Amaya and Vanessa.
And Miguel.
Hello.
And Miguel. We've been having a great conversation. We were talking about some questions that Amaya got from her peers on Snapchat and stuff. You guys good? We noticed, we realized during the break that y'all have kind of been having a rough day today. And
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Vanessa, I think, has a headache on top
Yes.
of that.
She's going through menopause, everybody.
I'm not really. It's just this joke we have in our family because I'm hot
You
and
don't need
cold
to
all the
cover
time.
it up, sweetheart. They know now.
Okay, I'm going through menopause, guys.
So, gotcha. So you're going through a...
Heat flashes every here and there.
Apparently there's a youth menopause. Okay.
It's new.
Believe it, it's a thing.
Yeah, all right. Okay. How you doing, Miguel? You good?
I'm alright.
Okay, awesome. You're not going through menopause or anything.
No.
Okay, good.
Not yet, but it will
He
hit you.
wishes.
All right.
No, I do not.
Nobody wants that, sweetheart.
So,
Well, you get it when you're
Vanessa
older,
can have
so-
all of it.
so let's go into. You had another question that we were talking about at the break that you wanted to bring up, and I actually can't wait for you to ask this question because I think I have a lot to say about this particular topic. But let's hear it.
Okay, well, I want to know why parents think we're, or not parents, just parents,
Just
adults
right.
think that we're inexperienced with not anything specific, but just like, I guess, life, things in life.
Okay.
Just because they, or like, they think they're more experienced because they've been through it, they've lived longer, they've seen more, things
Right,
like
right.
that. And I don't think that's always the truth.
Okay, so so the question is, why do adults think that we're more experienced than youth or than teenagers?
Right.
Okay, the answer, because we are.
You got an explanation for that? Because I can say other things.
Are we gonna have a debate here?
Yes, we are.
I don't care.
So
Okay.
the simple answer is simply this. The proof is in the pudding. You're 16 years old. I'm 45 years old. I've gone through things that you've gone through and probably haven't gone through yet.
But
So depending on the situation, right? Now, granted, you're female, I'm male. There's going to be some different situations here.
Yeah.
But for the
like
most part,
menopause.
Good luck with that.
I'm just going to slide right past that one. But for the most part, that would be my simple short answer would be because, yeah, we have. We've gone, or I'm just going to use myself. I've gone through some stuff that I hope to God you would never go through. I've seen some things I hope to God you would never see. I've seen the ugly side of this world, as I'm sure your mom has, as I'm sure your uncle has, that you haven't seen yet. So it's not coming from a place of arrogance. Understand that first and foremost. Now I get it. I get that there are some adults that'll come off that way. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, but the bottom line is this: it's not coming from a place of arrogance. It's not coming from a place of where we feel like we're better than you or anything. Or that's not it. It's coming from a place of, yeah, because we do know more than you. Yes, there are some certain things and topics and stuff that you probably know more than me about. You probably know,
Thanks.
You probably know more about stuff on my iPhone than I do. I'll give you that. For sure, I'll give you that. But I promise you, you don't know more than me when it comes to things like having to pay certain bills and having to do things in life.
Create a budget?
How to create a budget and how to do things like that. I promise you don't know more than me in that. And I promise there are other things you don't know more than me about that I won't mention.
I guess whenever I say inexperienced, though, I don't
Yeah, I think you have to be
necessarily
specific.
mean how to pay a light bill, I don't mean
houses.
things like that. I think that you can say I can't do one thing because I don't know how to do it, when reality is, I mean, there's a lot of things in the world that I can easily go look up a YouTube video on how to parallel park a car, you know,
point,
like
good point.
there's the internet, there's books, there's information like that, and there's things
Right.
that we learn in school today that my parent doesn't even remember and never learned about.
There are things in school that also progress with time. So
Yeah.
there are things that we've learned that they haven't learned because they were just like discovered recently.
Very true. Very true.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's a very good point.
Very good point.
So I guess my question to you would be, what specifically are you talking about? Because if you just use that blanket statement as far as like life in general, then the answer to that is always going to be because we do know more than you when it comes to life. Okay? Now, if you want to nitpick and talk about different things specifically, then I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, y'all going to know a lot more math than I do. For sure. I can guarantee you that.
Maybe one of us, not all
They
three
might.
of us.
Vanessa.
Yeah, I
But,
guarantee
yeah.
that because I wasn't good at math in school, right? But I can turn around and say I know more about music than you do.
Interesting.
Well, maybe
Okay.
that's because you've had the chance to experience it more,
Exactly
obviously.
my point.
But we learn a lot in school too, related to music, especially if you go down that path. Maybe it's not as much as you, but we've still, in a way, experienced it. Like maybe you been playing longer, you've done it longer, but I learned to play a violin in 6th grade. You don't know that. Maybe, I don't know. But we
Right.
still learned the basics to it. You can't sit there and say,
Right.
looking at someone and be like, you don't know
Right.
the rules to it, or you don't know
Right.
the way of it.
Okay, check it out. I'm gonna answer your question right now with just a simple little thing that just happened today, and it's gonna prove my point here. What I'm trying to say. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. All right. So we had you guys start the show off.
Right.
You failed miserably.
Okay.
Right or wrong? I'm not picking
No,
on you.
yeah,
I'm just
right.
making a statement, right? Miserably. Okay? We started over. You did a lot better the second time, right? But as you can see, the experience. You tried it the second time. You did a lot better the second time, but if we're being honest, I still had to come in and take over, right? Why? Because I'm more experienced at it than you are.
Or it could just be because of confidence.
Ooh,
That
that's a
again,
great
but
point.
see that again goes with the experience. You see what I'm saying?
Or
So,
like I could
hold
just
on.
have really like
Wait,
low self-esteem.
I,
you know?
I want to. I have a great situation that you don't know about. So let's talk about confidence and let's talk about what we're talking about.
Okay.
Amaya here,
Right.
she bakes.
Oh, cool.
So Rob here
Listen to
also
that,
cooks
yeah.
and bakes and
Yes.
stuff like that too.
I don't
So
know about bake.
well, you cook. So
I cook.
I got to hear a whole thing this weekend about how good your maneuver is and stuff like that. But
My noodle's the best, bro. Make you slap your grandma for not cooking it just as good. I'm telling you.
so let's talk about cooking.
Okay.
Let's talk about cooking. So
Sure.
so you're pretty confident in the small things that you've baked in your life, right?
Yes.
So let's see if we can find a commonality of what you've baked together. So, but Rob, what is your experience in baking? What have you baked?
Honestly, all the baking I've done is basic. You know, you buy
From a
the
box.
box of Dunkin' Hines and bake some brownies or some cakes. That's my baking experience.
And that's not
It's
mine.
sad, right? my wife's the baker, not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my baking experience.
So
cookies, I've done cookies too and stuff like
Did
that.
you use the cookie dough?
Yep.
So we could say in this conversation, Amaya has more confidence, so she's gonna understand how to bake better,
Right.
than you or I. Because
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, to you, I don't bake
Right.
for nothing.
Definitely.
We know that.
Definitely. Shoot, wow.
I actually
I bake
ask
everything
her
for
me.
him.
No, for sure. But again, that goes back to my point. She's got more experience.
Correct.
In that, right? Which
That's
is what,
I'm circling back to your original
Yeah,
point. It's the experience
Exactly.
is what makes the situation what the situation
Exactly.
is.
And to kind of piggyback off of what you were just saying, confidence. Yeah, confidence is great. But to use Will's example, man, I can go into that baking thing. We can go into a baking contest, and I can have the most confidence in the world that the cake I'm gonna make is gonna be the best cake you ever had. But if I don't have the experience like she does, it's it's not going to matter. You know what I'm saying? And I believe your confidence does come with experience.
Okay, but how about this? Let's say you've been, let's say that because you're in a situation and you've been maybe downgraded, you've been thought low of, and that's the reason why
You have no confidence.
or you're not as experienced, I guess, or you don't think you're as experienced because maybe an adult or someone has brought that down on you.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So for a situation that maybe we'll just stick with the cooking thing. We'll use that. You trying to learn to be a better cook.
Yeah.
But your confidence hasn't been built because a certain adult in this situation is like, man, what are you doing? You can't even.
Right.
You can't even do a simple thing. Get out of the way. So your confidence. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yes, I believe that adults, and quite honestly, I think a lot of adults, the reason why they get that way is because, depending on the situation, right? I think they get in that mindset of like, it would just be quicker if I do it.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but
You know what I mean?
I also want to say, like, maybe going into the question a little bit more. I was like, forever.
You did that?
You know, in my.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we're
you
just like,
beat me at baking. I'll tell you that right now.
For the record,
Yeah.
Amaya's mom showing all of us a picture of what Amaya baked.
Yeah,
it was
probably
a
should say
unicorn cake. Like the cake
Was it
itself looked like
forever
a unicorn
ago?
head, and it had a horn sticking out of it.
Good times.
Yeah, you're definitely better at me than baking for sure.
I've gotten better, but
Can you
yeah.
smoke a brisket though?
I'm sure I could learn though, but that's the thing, you know. But like this conversation right here.
Yes.
You can ask me if I can smoke a brisket, and I can say no, but
Right.
I don't want you to think low of me or say
Okay.
that. Yeah,
I get
things
what
like
you're
this.
saying.
That's a good
Because
point.
like my mom can tell me one thing, she can be like, "Yeah, but you don't know how to do this," and I'm like, "Yes, but I can learn to do it. I
Yeah.
can get better
Okay.
at it." Like that's the
And
thing.
it's not
Well,
that
'cause
hard to read instructions on it.
Because her dad cooks briskets. Or
That's that.
he smokes.
Will,
Yeah.
we're having a
Brisket.
conversation. We're stuck on the brisket.
I'm hungry, bro. I'm hungry.
I'm still thinking about it too.
I'm
Call him.
glad.
I'm sure he'll
Me and
make you
Miguel
one.
right here. Me and Miguel right here.
I'm glad you said that because now we're talking about
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really valid point here. You're right. Adults, I mean, yeah, we shouldn't automatically think down on youth, especially if it's something that they don't know because they haven't learned it yet. We should be willing to be teaching them.
Yeah, and I think that's something that parents don't. That's not a thought that runs through their mind. They just automatically, or adults, they just automatically assume that, oh, just because I've lived longer, just because I've seen more, done more, I already know that you don't know how to do it, but I do.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what that makes okay. Now see.
Right.
Now that's a whole different level of this conversation than what we were at before. That I understand.
Yeah.
So in those teachable moments, yes, you're right. I do think that adults, if possible, and at the same time, if the teenager is willing to learn,
Mm-hmm.
I think they should be ready and willing to teach for sure. I totally agree with that. We shouldn't automatically just be like, oh, well, you don't know, so now I think
Yeah.
less of you. I get that completely. Just because you don't know how to smoke a brisket doesn't mean I'm going to think less of you at all. And I'd be more than happy to teach you. That's
Right.
basically how I would approach that, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, that's a good one. You got anything? Sitting over there looking at me, dealing with your menopause. Or whatever.
Do you even know what menopause is?
Yes.
Okay.
I am 45 years old. I know what menopause is.
It's just some.
What you have
Some
is not
grown-
menopause.
Yeah, it's not menopause. But what some grown-ups, men or male or whatever, they just still understand girl things.
Yeah, but I've
Some.
been married for
Yes,
many
obviously.
years. Many years.
It's just
I've been married
sometimes-
twice.
Sometimes boys just like would like to, believe it's not there.
Boys, yes.
Yeah.
Men, no.
Hey, let's talk about this.
Some men, no,
So let's-
let's be real. Some men like to believe it's not there. Or some men like to just blame it on something, going back to yesterday. Some men like to say, the period is why you're acting the way you're acting.
And
so-
those men I call boys.
Yeah.
There's a difference. There's a difference. A real man understands that their wife goes through those issues, and a real man will then take care of their wife during that time and not gripe at them because they're acting differently or anything like that. That's what a real man does. I love you, baby. I know you're listening. That's just something I'm throwing out there. Anyway, cool. You got anything to say about what we were talking? Not that part, but the other part we were talking about before.
Well, you can put a brisket in tacos, on a sandwich, in a soup.
In soup?
Hey, that's actually not a bad idea.
Wait. Brisket and soup?
That sounds
Looks
gross
like we're
because
not
it'll
having
get
a
soggy.
cookout.
Like more like
No,
broth
I
and
don't know.
stuff.
Like,
My mom puts brisket in
The
beef
They
broth.
do use
Yeah.
brisket in soup. You ever had pho?
as flavoring
No.
too.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
adds
don't like
flavor.
anything
Brisket.
soggy.
You gotta get the mentality out of your head.
If it's
that
cooked
brisket
right, it
is
won't be
smoked.
soggy.
I'm
Right.
talking about a brisket.
The
Cooked in the soup.
Burtons or something.
No, and we're talking about a brisket that's not smoked. A brisket that is actually used in the
Oh,
soup. Is
okay.
what
I
we're
get you
saying.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
My
But
mind
can we-
sticks to smoke.
Can we get off of the food?
I'm hungry.
I was
man.
talking about the subject matter. We got all our listeners right now wanting brisket because of that.
Unless they're vegetarians, then they probably want some salad or something.
I don't think Will's wife listens to the show. My bad, Ro.
Well, there could be other people.
I'm sorry. Hey, just for all you vegetarians out there, if you ever come to my house to eat, just let me know you're vegetarian. I'll grab some lettuce, throw it on the grill. We got no problem.
I'll make sure my grass is freshly watered.
There you go. There
A
you
good
go.
old lettuce burger.
And you know what? For you vegetarians out there, I've always wanted to know. Whenever I go, to a barbecue place. Y'all been to a barbecue place. Y'all been to Lockhart, right? As soon as you walk into that place, you smell that meat cooking. Oh, your mouth waters, right?
What do they think?
You just ready. Am I right, Miguel?
Yeah.
Right? Your mouth is watering.
Okay, let me tell
I
you
have
something.
to ask,
Hold
for
on.
vegetarians, does the same thing happen when you smell fresh cut grass?
I have no idea.
He's
I'm
not
not a vegetarian.
No, I'm asking the vegetarians
Well,
out there.
I've been a vegetarian for a month.
So does your mouth water when you smell fresh cut
That
grass?
obviously didn't go over well.
For well over.
No, it doesn't, honestly. But when you go, after you get used to, like, not smelling meat or not eating meat,
After you get used to eating like a horse, you mean?
shut up. After you get used to not eating meat, the smell is actually disgusting.
Really?
Yes. And I'm still, like,
See, I'm having a hard time wrapping my
Gross
head
by
around
it,
that
I don't think I
because-
believe that.
Because the smell of a smoking brisket. Oh God.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
no, but, like, just do it for, like, a month or something, and you'll just...
I don't think I'd last a week.
Ladies and gentlemen, she just looked me in the eye and told me to try to be a vegetarian for a month.
See, that's
Honestly, it's the easiest thing ever. Just take away the meat, and
see,
it's done.
the first thing my
Is
dad
she
would
from
do.
Texas?
I am.
I'm just okay.
She's from Texas.
Oh,
What is
bro.
California?
I would believe that actually.
I would believe it. But the first thing my dad would do.
Why?
She didn't hear you.
The first
Keep
thing
going.
my dad would do if I ever said, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna go vegetarian," he'd throw a steak down right in front of me and say, "You sure?"
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Plus, he'd
You
also
had
be
family
like,
who were by your side and like encouraged you.
he'd
But
be
the
like,
temptation is... What was I going to say?
I have no
Oh
idea.
my god.
With you, it could be anything. You were a vegetarian for a month?
Like a month and a half.
War or
Wow.
Or you still are?
No.
Yeah, she was.
So why'd you stop?
Well, it was just...
Steak?
No. I
Brisket?
actually, like, slowly got back
Fajitas?
into it.
chicken.
No, I don't really like chicken.
You don't like chicken?
Yeah.
Not even chicken fajitas?
Even... I'll eat chicken fajitas, but
Okay,
even,
there
like,
we go. That's
once
progress.
we have, like, spaghetti, and my mom's like, do you want meatballs? I'm like, no, it's
Okay.
just... I
that
don't
was
know.
literally only yesterday.
She wants
Okay, I
vegetarian
do it all the
meatballs.
time.
Okay, like come on.
No, I'm serious. Why did you stop being a vegetarian?
I don't know. I think it was... I have no clue.
She smelled the brisket.
No!
Gotta be that. It's gotta be that.
Maybe
So
it
what's
was
your
because
favorite
it was
meat?
hard.
I don't know.
You don't have a favorite meat?
No.
Wow, what's your favorite meat? Brisket?
Honestly, that's a tough question.
That's
That's that
just so
you
many,
can't
right?
you just can't answer that right
It's
on the
like-
spot. You got to think about it. You got to consider everything that could go with that meat. You got to think chicken fajitas, beef fajitas, like you said, all kinds of stuff.
I like this kid.
Steak fajitas.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I think we should
man.
get back
I'm
on the
sorry, like, I'm-
topic.
Hey, we got a new topic now.
A whole episode on what's your favorite meat.
Oh my god.
Hey, I'll come back for that.
Do a cooking series.
Oh,
I'll come back for that.
Oh my
Sure, we'll
gosh,
do it.
yes.
Have you tried those dino ribs, the beef dino ribs before?
I have not yet.
No, but I have tried the dino nuggets.
I thought that's what you was gonna say.
I love me some dino nuggets. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm talking those big beef ribs. I
I may be 16,
I smoked
but
some beef ribs and they
still
were
child.
phenomenal.
Next time, invite me over.
Yeah, we got it. Okay, we're totally off topic here. All right, hit me with another question.
hit me with
Something
your
else.
best shot.
Okay, so I like
What? You know that song?
Yes, I'm not born in
No,
like
we're not
2020.
uneducated. No, we only know some
Did
songs.
you teach her that song?
No.
No.
You
no,
raised
no, no,
your
no.
children.
She did
right.
not. She's just saying yes because she's
Yes.
on like the podcast or whatever, but no.
You have raised your children correctly.
She wants the clout.
Okay,
She does.
we should just start getting back on topic because my mom's gonna be like, I did it.
Okay, give me another question.
Okay, I liked what Miguel said at the beginning of the conversation. He really talked about how his father kind of thought about college ahead of time, and that was a lot of the responses that we got too.
Okay.
Is that a lot of parents really like start their kids off young and with the whole idea of getting to college education, and I think a lot of children have the stress or the pressure to let that like
I agree.
okayness in their parents' head.
I get you.
And so they'll
I
like
definitely agree.
start there and then
I get you. All right, let me ask you a question about that. I'm really anxious to hear your opinions. Do you feel that most parents do that to their kids because they want their kids to be better than they were?
Yes.
Or
That's exactly what my dad told me.
Or, hear what I'm gonna say. Or do you feel that the parents are trying to live vicariously through their kids?
No, I think that's both.
I
Well,
think
depending on the
vicariously.
parent, depending on the kid, the situation that they come from, the situation that their parents have been through.
What do you think, Miguel?
Well, my dad went to college, and he studied a major that didn't really help him out in life, and now he has to work harder for it. And of course, he had to pay for it. I think he ended up dropping out. Actually, I have an older sister that's in college too, and of course, she dropped out about halfway through the first time, and now she's continuing through with medical school.
Okay.
But I think he wants me to go through, and he doesn't want me to struggle. I know, because he's told me that multiple times. He said, I've had to work way too hard where I am now. I've had to work when I've been sick. I've had to work when I've been just fresh out of the hospital. I've had to work too hard, and then there are times that we'd be eating the same thing for a week when money was tight every
Right.
once in a while. And
Right.
so I think it definitely stems from him wanting me to be better than him, and the same with my mom, because she had to save and scrape by sometimes, especially to afford the things for a child.
Right.
So I think they want it to be easier for us, and they want us not to make, like we said earlier, the same mistakes that they did. They
Right.
want us to be better, learn better, make more money, live more comfortably.
I got you. I gotta ask, Will, you're a parent. Now your kids right now, they're all young. We don't got any of them going to college anytime soon.
Right.
Right. Okay. Now you want them to go to college, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Right. You want them to succeed. Something that you said, I've heard a lot of parents, and I'm gonna go back and say this again, listeners. I know I don't have any kids, so I don't really have a dog in this fight. But I just want to.
But I do.
Yes, you do.
But I do.
I just want to share this opinion that I have. So go with me on this one, and I want all of y'all to listen to this. Okay. So you said, your dad thought about college and everything for you because he doesn't want you to struggle like he did.
Yes.
Right. Do you agree with that sentiment for your kids?
For my kids, yes and no.
You know where I'm going with
I know
this.
exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And
I
the
do
reason-
not.
The reason why I say yes and no is because of this. I want my kids to have an understanding of what the life is going to be like. I need them to choose what they want to do, not be told what they need to do. And I need them to fail and learn how to get back up when they fail. Because you realize, if I can tell you my kid, we have lawyers, doctors, whatever. Be that's guaranteed money. Or I can say, go to entrepreneurial school. Become an entrepreneur. Create something. Be a boss. Own your own company. Be a CFO. But then you realize, that's hard work. So it's to my kid, it's like, you need to do whatever's best for you. Because I'm not going to be able to help you through college. I'm not going to help you financially through college. But I'm not going to be able to do the classes, learn the stuff for you. Because let's face it, this direction, I'm kicking my kids out of the state of Texas. They ain't going to depend on me for nothing. They gone from here. So because I need them to understand their life and live their own life and experience life on their own. Because if they live here, they're going to be on my doorstep almost every other weekend saying, can I get something to eat? Like, go get that food at the chow hall. That's cheap there, That's where I'm going with this. But you also have to realize, too, is that I am different. So my kids, when they graduate, I'm going to give them two options. And the two options are simple. Military or college. And if you don't choose either one, you got to get out of my house. It's that simple.
Wow.
Yeah, and so here's where I was going with that. I hear that all the time. Parents always say, I don't want my kid to go through the struggles that I went through. And I get that. Trust me, I do get that. Right? But here's where I'm kind of like, I guess, at a little disagreement with that. And that's this. if my mom didn't go through the struggles that she went through, right? Because so real quick background on my mom, just talking about my mom specifically. My mom dropped out of high school. Well, she dropped out of school. My mom got married at 13. Okay? My mom got married at 13 years old. She had me when she was 17. So she dropped out of school. My mom then went back and got her GED. Okay? After she got her GED, she worked a few years and whatnot. It took her a few years, but she finally went back to school. She went to college. She got her master's in education and is now a teacher. All right, so that's what my mom did. My mom went through a lot of struggles during that time, right? But it made my mom who she is today. So that is my point. I get what you're saying about how your dad doesn't want you to struggle like he did. But I think as parents, you gotta let your kids struggle some. I get you don't want your child to make the same stupid decisions you might have made, but what about those good, hard-working type decisions, right? Like my mom having to work 2 jobs while she went to school because she's trying to provide for her kids. And those things developed the character that she had, right? Those type of struggles. And, you know, I think it's kind of good to go through that struggle of, crap, I can't pay the light bill this month, so I'm going to have to buy some candles. You know what I mean? Those types of struggles build that character is what I'm trying to say. So I get it. Yeah, you don't want your kids to struggle the way you did, but I think some struggle is okay because that's going to develop you into a stronger person as far as your character goes. I believe in my and I could be wrong, but I'm just saying for myself, I believe that because of the stuff that I went through, it's made me a person that is what's the word? Well, I respect my mom more for sure. But because of not just what she did, but because of the struggles that I went through, I am a man of integrity now because of that. You know what I mean? I had to go through those struggles that I went through. I didn't go through the same struggles my mom went through, of course, but I went through similar ones. Mm-hmm. And credit to my mom, I got to give her credit. She didn't have that attitude. I'm not going to have my kids struggle the way I did. She was like, no, we going to struggle together. You know what I mean? So I got to give my mom credit for that one. You wanted to say something?
Yeah. I think that character can still be developed without struggle. Well, I mean, it's obviously going to be harder, but I know that my parents definitely taught me lessons that I could have learned through struggle, but I'm glad that they taught me, you know, they just sat down and they just said, this is happening, and they helped me become who I am today, and they helped shape who I am today into, you know, somebody better than they were at the time from the things that they've learned. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, also, sometimes in the pursuit to get rid of certain struggles, they can create new struggles.
True.
Such as placing pressure on us to get into college early. I feel like that's definitely something that that can weigh on you pretty heavy.
Is it weighing on you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Have you talked to your parents about that?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think I agree with them that I should definitely try to get into college with them, and I thank them for putting me on that path and trying to get me, you know, working towards it and giving me the skills and the character necessary to get there.
Gotcha. Now, here's the thing. This is just an opinion, but see, I use it to this example. If I was given a car, right, which I was when I was younger, I was given a car by my grandfather, right? He said, "Here, this is your car. This is for you to drive around, you know,
take care of."
Yeah, take care of. And it was one of those things like I just got my license, so he gave me a car. All right. Now maybe I'm the exception to the rule, but I doubt it. I think there's a lot of kids that are like this personally, but because he gave me that car, I got to be honest, I didn't really take care of it because he gave it to me.
Yeah.
Right. However, when I actually went and bought my first car, oh my God, did I take care of that car? You know what I mean? I was careful with where I went, how many times I went. I used to, my parents all the time, can you go to the store for me? Because I was driving now. They didn't have to drive. There were times I would tell my mom, can it wait till tomorrow when I have to go to, you know, town anyway to do this? Because I'm trying to save on my gas. I just paid my car payment. I don't have that much money for gas. You know, that kind of, or can you give me $10 for gas?
Yeah. You
know what I mean? So I think with those struggles, now not all the time, All right, I get where you're coming from, but I think a lot of times when you go through the struggle of getting to wherever your goal is, you're going to appreciate it more at the end. You may even take better care of it because you remember what got you to the dance. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can definitely see how, I think it goes either way.
Right.
Sometimes in certain scenarios,
Right.
it'll be one way or
Right.
the other. I think.
Now, depending on what your parents tell you, right, it could be one of those things where you could be the exception to the rule. I really listened to my dad when he told me about when he went through this. I don't want to go through that, so you listen. But let's be real. There's a lot of young kids out there that probably don't think like that. Yeah, okay, Dad, whatever. All right, cool. And then you go and
you do it anyway.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it's both. It can go both ways. It's just gonna kind of depend. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel. You guys? You guys are really quiet.
Well, no. I just going back to what Will said about he has two options.
Oh
for
yeah,
his
y'all
kids.
really reacted to that one.
Yeah, really, like, so I've heard my mother said, like, never go to the military or, like, the Marines or anything because women get raped. Yes. And then the men don't respect them and,
I think at the end of the day, our mom just wants us to, like...
Be safe.
Yeah. She wants to guide us down the right path without, like, really,
course.
like, pushing us down there.
Of
But
course.
It shocked me just because... Like, that's the truth of what it is. Like, you're either going this way or you're going that way. And then,
Right.
to me, like, as a kid experiencing that or even understanding that, like, that puts pressure on me to... Because what if I don't want to go to college? What if I try college and college just isn't for me? Like,
That's true.
What,
And then,
what
like, you're
other
too
option
scared
do
to
I
go to the
have?
military because
Yeah,
you
what
heard
other-
all these stories about people getting hurt.
Right.
Yeah, like, what other option do I have at that point? Like, and I think... For us, it's different. Yeah, like my older sister, she tried college. It obviously wasn't for her, so she didn't go. Our other option is if we don't go to college, then we can live at home, but, that means we have to find a job. We have to learn to pay bills. We have to work for being in a home. We're not going to be in a home for free, but, like, my older sister, like, that's exactly what she did. But now, like, is she kind of regretting that because she's sitting here, especially through all this COVID stuff, having to get a second job? Like, she's sitting here struggling to pay bills. Like, was this a mistake or was it something that she needed to go through to realize, like, this is reality?
And see, that's the beauty of life because that's the thing. It depends on how you take it, right? Because if that's the path you choose, then you've got to walk out that path, right? Everything that you said is true. So you have to make those decisions. You're right. If you go to college and you find out it's not for you, cool. That's fine. College wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I didn't go, right? So I chose to walk a different path. I took a journey to where now I'm 45 years old and I'm at the career that I enjoy. I like what I do, but it took me to, I've been there now. So I started that job, I think, at about 41. So I was in my 40s before I got to the career that I thought I could make this my career in my life. Whereas my wife took a different path, went to college, got a degree, and was in her job where she had a career by the time she was in her late 20s. Because that's the path she took. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter which path you took, it's the journey in getting there. It's all depending on how you look at it. You can look at it as a failure, but the way I see it is nothing's a failure if you're still going through the journey.
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily the kid that sees it as a failure because they decided to drop out of college. I think it's going along, knowing the pressure, like knowing my mom wants me to go to college, my mom wants me to go to college, and then now that you're not in college, that's like, what is it, like
Disappointment.
Yeah, that's like disappointment to them. Like, now you're like, oh great, now what is my parent gonna think of me? Now what is my parent gonna do? Like, even though you're an adult at that point, like, I guess there's still that like little thought in your head, like they still have almost that power over you to like make you feel.
I get what you're saying, but you just said a very, very, very perfect statement, and that's this. At this point, you're an adult. So here's the truth of all truths, and I'm gonna lay it out like this. At that point in time, I get it. You want your parents to be proud of you. You want your parents, to Who doesn't, right? I'm 45 years old, and I got all giddy the other day when my mother called me mijo for the first time in my life because I was buying a house. You know, she said, "I'm so proud of you, mijo." I was a 10-year-old kid when in my head like that because she called me mijo. She's never done that ever, right? So I get it. Trust me, I get it. Yeah. But the bottom line is this: when you're an adult, who cares what your parents think? Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you have to decide what path you're going to take. If you decide college is not for you, fine. College is not for you. Then you go and do the research and find out, what path am I going to take? What resources are out there for me where I can do something where I don't have to go to college, right? I deal with that at my job all the time because I work for the workforce, and we have a program where we help people that are qualified go and get training for certain careers, okay? That's a resource, right? So there are other options out there, but the bottom line is all that stuff you're talking about, that's just in your head, and you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with that, because at that point, like you said, you're an adult. Now you've got to figure out, how am I going to support myself? How am I going to be able to pay the bills that now I'm responsible for? You know, and that's really, at the end of the day, I believe as adults, again, I know I don't have kids, but I know I feel this way about my nephews and my niece. I'll be happy when I can just see that they are living life and they're doing it on their own. My father-in-law says it perfectly. We had a conversation not too long ago. He told me, he talked to a couple of his friends, right? Because my wife is their only daughter, or their only child, really. They don't have any other kids. And he told his friend, you know, I see my daughter and my son-in-law, and they've got great jobs, got a roof over their head, they've got nice new vehicles, they're doing all right, and that's good enough for me. That's really what it boils down to. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, if you go to college and it ends up not working out for you, as long as you're making your way and living your life and getting by on your own, I think your mom will be happy for that. She really will. Doesn't mean she won't be there for you if you need the help, right? But if you're out doing it on your own and you're making your own way and you're struggling, but it's your struggle, I think she's gonna be just fine.
And you ain't living in my house. I'm going to be happy.
So
Be like, I'll see you later, sucker.
So here's the thing, not to put any more pressure on you, right? But you're 16 years old. Yeah. You're 2 years away from that adult stage.
Ugh. Let's just not talk about it. I'm just
you
kidding.
know, and that's why you remember that time when I first really met you guys and asked, what did y'all want to do when you get out of school? And y'all were both like, I don't know. Did y'all notice the look on my face? Like, I don't know. That's honestly the reason why I made that look on my face, because it's like, y'all got 2 years before you're an adult.
Yeah, but there's so much out there that you could
True.
potentially do, and like going through so much school now,
True.
everybody always has that lingering thought, like, is going through more school really what I want to do after I just got out of stressful high school?
I hear you.
But I can tell you this much, is college is a whole different ball of wax. See, you don't have professors beating you up because you didn't turn in the paper. You don't have professors saying, oh, you missed the deadline, you ain't going to get it. Because here's the thing, you're paying them to be there. And they don't care if you pass or fail. So if you fail, you got to pay them again. So they're making twice the money off you for that one class. So you realize this, when I went to college, one of the things that really, I had to learn the hard way.
You went to college?
Yeah.
I was going to say, right, yeah.
So when I went to college, you know, the teachers, the professors was always like, this assignment's due on Friday. If it's not in on Friday, it's your problem. So then you submit it, then you do what they want, you know, do it how you submit it, how they want you to submit it, do whatever. Oh, it came in at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday. You've lost 10 points because you didn't turn it in on Friday. So then you realize that it's a different dynamic than high school. It's a more leisure reaction. Nobody's beating you up to study, nobody's beating you up to do well. But the thing is you have your syllabus, you know what's due, when it's due by, and that's what they live by. So you have to realize you can do your whole assignment and do everything in like 3 weeks and coast through the class. It may not be right because you haven't learned half the stuff that's on that syllabus, but you know, you can still do it and submit it in and still make a good grade to pass. Yeah. Speaking from experience. But, you know,
You're teaching us wrong, man.
But to address what you I was busy a minute ago. Sorry. So when you said something about military and things of that nature. Now you realize there's certain things in military that's ugly. That's the ugly side. Like what just happened in Fort Hood with that young lady a couple
Vanessa
weeks ago.
Gillen.
Right. That's heartfelt.
I thought you were calling my name for a minute. I'm sorry.
No, her name was Vanessa.
Yeah.
So that's ugly. That's the ugly side of what the military is, and I really hope that they can get it cleaned up and fixed out because we want to send. We have kids who want to join the military because that's the only option they have, and as a young lady, it's scary because some of them that's their only option to get out of the situation. You see people who grow up in poverty, and that's the only way out because they can't afford college. And with that, to get the GI Bill, they can go to college and focus on their future. But if that's what they have to fight and face, why would they even go? So it tells the military, let's wake up. Let's wake up and fix something. Because, we're going to lose a demographic group who's fighting for them to be there, who's fighting because they want to be in combat and be in the military, but yet they can't come in there because, they're getting raped and sex trafficked and all this other nonsense to other military men in the building, which is really, really scary. But I will tell you this much, though, is with me and my kids, I'm not really forcing them college. I'm not forcing them on military. I am telling them study hard because if you don't study hard and don't try, then you don't go nowhere if you don't try. You have to try. You always have to try because you have an I quit attitude, then you're going to go nowhere. If he misses the kick in a big game, he's going to kick again tomorrow, right? He's going to kick again the next game. You're not going to bench it forever.
Yeah.
It's just you have to keep trying, keep practicing your craft, and keep learning your craft. And with you're at 16, you have to realize that's in a couple of years. Technically, that's like a year from now, a year and 2 months, because you're about to be 17.
Stop talking.
But you realize this is understand what you want and understand your backup to what you want. I had a backup when I started college. I fell back to my backup because I just didn't like my career path was. And I'll be honest with you, the backup is always going to be the next best thing for you. And look at your brother.
I think that's great advice. I think having a backup plan is always good because I'm the example of not having a backup plan. When I got out of school, I already knew what I wanted to do with my life, and that was to pursue music. Yeah, it didn't work out that well. I'm thankful I still do music today, but it's not my career. You see what I'm saying? So I had to kind of decide later on. But as we wind down, this has brought up a very good subject that I never thought I would really address on this show, but I want to now because I think this is the perfect opportunity for it. So you bring up a very good point, Amaya. Well, actually, both of y'all did. How you're not even sure what you want to do out of school, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure you've got a lot of different ideas, but you're not sure where. There are resources out there to help you to kind of decide what you can do and things of that nature. One of those resources I'm going to tell you about is your local workforce. Your local workforce actually has resources for you to use. We have a website that we use called Tradeify. It's through rural capital Texas because of our area. We are in the Hays County area right now. And there's also a capital area. They have the same thing. But with this website, you just go and answer some simple questions that this website usually takes about 5 minutes. After that, it then matches you up to potential career choices where by the choices that you made from the questions, the algorithms and everything that this website has can match you up with possible careers that you'll probably be the most happy at. And they do it percentage-wise. So like it might say after you answer these questions, it might say pharmacy tech, 90%, right? Just as an example. Yeah. And it'll give you all these different examples of different occupations. Then that starts the whole like, oh, I didn't think about that. Well, maybe I should pursue that. Or maybe so at least then you got some ideas, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, having said that as well, being that you guys are 16, y'all are still in school, we have a youth program, all right? The ages for the youth program are from 16 to 24, and we can help youth that are in school and youth that are out of school. And one of the things in the program is called the WIOA program, which stands for the Workforce Innovative Opportunity Act, all right? I am the head of the WIOA program in Caldwell County. So Not doing this to promote my job. I'm actually doing this to give young people that are listening right now in this area a resource. So what this program does is if you qualify for this program, it can pay for your training. As long as you choose an occupation that is on the target occupation list for the state of Texas, your training can be paid for. So for example, if you wanted to be a dental assistant, right, because you're interested in dental assisting work, that is one of the target occupations. You come to the workforce office, you sign up for the program. As long as you meet one of the qualifiers, then what happens is after all that process is done, we then find a school locally that you can go and take the classes, and we pay your tuition. You go and take the classes, you succeed, you complete the classes, you get your certificate of completion, then we help you find the job where now you're making whatever it is an hour. It's really that simple. And like I said, all you have to do is qualify. So for the youth, I'm going to tell you right now what the qualifiers are, okay? You guys may not qualify because just on the surface of things, I don't think you would. But there could be some out there that are listening that would qualify, okay? So if you're between the ages of 16 and 24 and you are a parent or pregnant, that's a qualifier. If you have any kind of disability, that is a qualifier. If you've ever been in trouble with the law, doesn't matter what kind of trouble it is. As long as you went through the system, you can qualify, okay? If you were ever a foster child, you qualify. If you were homeless, you qualify, okay? So those are what we call the automatic qualifiers for the youth program. Now, if you were over 18, then there are other ways that you can qualify, but to find those out, you would have to call your local workforce center. So I just wanted to put that out there because there are other resources out there so that you can see what it is you want to do. And I do have a lot of success stories. I've had kids that have come and talked to me that have gone through the program that are now successful dental assistants, truck drivers. I have a couple of them that are successful in their jobs doing HVAC work, and they're making like over $25 an hour. You know, so you made a really good point earlier about college may not be for you. Some people are like that. College isn't for them, but maybe you do good in a training that's only a couple of months, you know. So sorry if I bored you, but I felt this was a good time to kind of put those resources out there for those of y'all that are listening. Maybe this is something that you might want to give it a try, just to help you out, because if you're 16 years old, 18 ain't too far off. And I don't know how most parents are out there, but I know with my parents, it was like, once you graduate, you need to have figured out what you're going to do next because you out.
Yep.
So, but anyway, this has been a really great conversation, guys. Really great conversation.
Couldn't get my girl to be quiet, could we?
Yeah. No, that was awesome. And I'm so glad you guys came in for the past few weeks and had these discussions. Miguel, I'm glad you were here today.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to do that cooking segment. We'll bring you back for that, maybe to...
I will
Sample
gladly
judge.
come back for that.
Yeah, you'll be the sample judge. How's that?
I was about to say, are we taste testing?
Yeah, we'll do some taste tests or something like that. Now, guys, I really feel you guys did a great job these past few weeks. Y'all did an awesome job.
Yep.
That I'm excited to let our listeners know that we're going to bring Amaya and Vanessa back, possibly on some segments that we'll have in our show. We're still kind of working all the details out, but yeah, I think you guys did great, and y'all got a lot of potential. I really loved the questions you had, and I love the fact that you connected so well with all your peers. That's great. So thank you guys again so much. Now, before we go, Will.
Yep.
You know what we got to talk about next.
Yep.
It is our anniversary.
1 year.
We have been on the air for a full year, baby.
12 months.
12 months. This is our 52nd episode.
That's right.
1 year of the What's On My Mind podcast. Come on, y'all. Can I get an applause or something? Gosh.
Instant applause now.
Where's that applause track?
I got it backed up. I'll put it
Okay,
in a minute.
good. As long as we put it in there at the right time. No, hey, listen, we just want to take this time to thank you guys. So first and foremost, I want to thank God.
Yes.
And my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because this was an idea that I believe He planted in our hearts. And we have been able to use this platform to reach out to a lot of people and, dare I say, change a few lives, which has been amazing.
And you realize too, is we've changed lives from teenagers now because of Amaya and Vanessa.
Yeah, that's true.
All the way to the adults in our group.
That's very true. And we don't take that lightly. And we're going to continue doing what we're doing. We're going to continue bringing relevant stories, relevant topics. And as always, we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your ideas. But yes, we are celebrating 1 year.
Yes.
I feel like we should have cake, but we don't. Come on.
I forgot.
Amaya?
Where's the cake?
Come on, Amaya.
All right, chill out, man.
When I get home, I might eat ice cream.
cream.
No one told me anything.
You've
Anyway,
only been
I want a
sharing
unicorn
with me.
cake.
Anyway,
With some donkeys.
I want to take this opportunity also to thank our sponsors. If you haven't yet, go to our social media. We have an awesome video up right now.
Yes.
Where we had some of our sponsors give us some little anniversary shout outs. It was really cool of them to do so. And we are also going to be releasing a short video on our YouTube channel. Hopefully by today, if not tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
By tomorrow. That Will and I just kind of got together and briefly gave a little brief. Huh?
Wait.
What?
When this releases, it would have dropped yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Good point. So it's already available. Just go to our YouTube page. And we went on there for a few minutes and talked about the history of the show. During the conversation, I did learn that I kept pushing Will out the door, apparently.
Yep, trying to get rid of me, man.
I didn't realize I was doing that. But please check it out. And again, just thank you guys so much for the love, for the listens. We're going to be having a new platform soon where we're going to be doing our podcast, not just where you can hear it, but you'll also be able to see it. We'll be videoing it as well. So there's a lot of new stuff and awesome stuff coming on the horizon. And man, it's really hard to talk like this when everybody's doing it.
Oh yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
Everybody's moving right in front of me. Anyway, thank you guys again so much. I want to give a big shout out to Josh Gonzalez. He wanted to send us a video, but unfortunately he was just really tied up. He was going on a trip or something. He wasn't able to do it.
Oh, no way, Josh?
Yeah, Josh.
That's pretty dope.
He gave us some love on our 1 year anniversary as well. But we got some great topics coming up. As I said before, any of you adults, any of you parents, if these past few episodes have really gotten you guys to talk to your teenager, want to hear from you, maybe you can be a guest on the show. Let us know if you're interested. Contact us on our social medias or email us as well. Again, thank you, Amaya. Thank you, Vanessa, for being here the past few weeks. Thank you, Mom, for bringing them. Really appreciate it. And Miguel, thank you again for being here today. Really do appreciate that. And Will, man, thank you so much for this past year. It's been good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate everything you've done as well.
Thank you, sir.
Don't start crying on me now.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I cry when the camera's turned off.
There's a box of tissue somewhere around here. I would know.
No, I
actually have it back here.
I think this next year is going to be even bigger.
Bigger and better.
We're going to have a lot more. You know, I got some really good ideas for the future. I'm already reaching out to maybe some possible celebrity guests. But
Same here.
See.
Vanessa?
We'll see what happens.
Kidding.
It's also the food segment.
Well, yeah, this guy. One track mind over here. Yes,
that's why we go to bed.
We are talking about having a segment where we're going to be talking about food and cooking and stuff. So we're going to reach out to some people about that. But anyway, guys, thank you again so much. We've been really blessed with y'all. So you got anything else, Will?
No, I'm just humbled by everything we're doing, man.
Yeah.
Just humbled.
All right. Well, I'm Rob T.
I'm Big Will.
And you've been listening to
What's on my mind?